that I have to get more formal about this whole thing. So now I would like to welcome everybody to Celebrating New Poets podcast. We've never had an introduction. We just start talking. So it's like we're getting downtown now. We got an introduction, and I was hoping that Teresa would come. I sent her an invite.
Well, Teresa is going to be joining us, but she is in the middle of a move. She sold her condo and she's moving over closer to Don Bluth Theater. So
Okay.
she won't be here this time, but she told me she'd be here in the following weeks.
Cool. Very good. Yeah. And we're missing Ann, aren't we?
Yep.
Actually, we're missing 8 or 9 other people too, but I don't really remember them. Haven't been on for a while. Anyway, maybe Ann will join us. But if not, we'll just we'll muddle through, as it were. Anybody have anything new and exciting? Like there she is. Hey, Ann.
Hey,
Hi, Ann.
hey, Bobby and Dale and Gary. How y'all?
Fine.
Good.
We're good. And we were just talking about a new member who can't join us today, but will probably be with us next time. And Teresa's her first name, is it Knudsen? Is that
Knudsen, Teresa Knudsen, and she's already writing a poem for the next time she gets on about her move.
Fantastic.
I forwarded it to Patricia Tiffany Morris because she said she was a poet, but I forwarded it to a couple of people.
Well,
but
good.
I don't know that they're
good.
I don't know if they're coming, but I forwarded it.
Well, we keep forwarding and keep doing it, and I believe it will happen.
Yeah, it just takes time.
Yeah. So again, does anybody have any earth-shattering news? Did you make the New York Times bestseller list?
I wish, but I do have news. I did win a scholarship for an upcoming writing conference.
Oh, tell us about that.
It's the Write His Answer Christian Writing Conference. It's combined with the Christian Colorado Writers Conference and the Philadelphia Christian Writers Conference. Marlene Bagnall, who runs Write His Answer Ministries, is doing the conference August 9th through 12th. I applied for a scholarship and she offered it to me. And so the only thing I had to pay, instead of paying the full $250, the only thing I had to pay was a $10 registration fee.
Wow.
Wonderful. Wow.
That is great.
Good.
That is
So
great.
if that's what you consider earth-shattering, there's my earth-shattering news.
Well, I've got some
Works for
news
me.
that I'm excited about too. On Father's Day, my daughter told me that she had subscribed me to a place called Storyworth. And I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it was started by a man who wanted his dad to share his life with him before he passed. And so he would ask him questions each week and his father would write down the answer. And so my daughter said, I want to do that with you because I want you to write down. So I just did my first one on Monday. Every Monday they send you a question. And then at the end of the year, they take all of your answers and questions and bind them in a hardback book and give them to the family. So my first question on Monday was, what was your fondest childhood memory? And so I wrote a little story about that. And so that's exciting. I'm excited about that. So
that sounds very exciting.
Go ahead. How do you submit the answer, Bobby? Do you send it in email or something?
Storyworth sends the question, and then there's a box, and you put your answer in. You can add a picture, which I added a picture, which goes into the book too, and then it gets submitted to them, and then they send it to my daughter, so she can read the answer right away, and then at the end of the year they bind them in a book.
Super.
Yeah. So cool.
That's great. You know, my younger daughter was actually she's kind of a half, you know. She's her mother is, I guess, her mother, and I'm her father, but we're not married. And anyway, her mother, my ex-wife, was did a book, something like that. It was done actually, her granddaughter put it together, and I don't know what the format was. It wasn't quite as simple as what you're talking about, Bobby, but they did ask her to you know, just write down everything that was important to her, and it seems like a task that wouldn't be much fun. But I mean, I was married to the woman, and well, anyway, I had no idea. It's just that half thing, okay? You know, it's like when you're a rotten scoundrel and you don't marry the mother, you know, and it's like sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So I've got a checkered past. What can I tell you?
You don't have to explain.
No, you don't.
You know what? My
Yeah.
kids just came out just swell, you know. And but the book, I was very impressed with the way that the granddaughter was able to put that book together. And I thought it was extremely well written, and it's a very beautiful book too. You know, it's a hard book. And I mean, if it was me, I'd be trying to sell it. You know, it's like, but I don't think that's what the family had in mind.
No.
Yeah.
And anyway, I found it was funny though to see yourself. If you think about it now, you know, we've been separated a long time, and it's funny to see yourself mentioned back in the day. You know, as like I don't even know if I even got a name. I think I was her youngest daughter's father. Yeah, I didn't get a name, but I got a couple of really honorable mentions. One was a section was what is your favorite family vacation, and I made the cut on that one. You know,
Oh, cool.
well, we should have. My gosh, we drove from Michigan all the way down to Key West, Florida, in a VW van, and so we were together for a long time. Me and her.
That's a long drive too.
3 kids. Well, we didn't kill ourselves doing it, but I mean, we were gone for quite a while, and it really was a wonderful trip, though.
Good.
Oh, that's cool.
So, poetry-wise, we got new poems. We got favorite poems.
Well, I've got a new poem, and I broke up the one about brick walls into 4. Not 3, but 4.
Now, is that the one we're going to hear right now?
No, actually, the one we're going to hear right now is the one that was inspired by Dale when she had that Freudian slip and said left brain, life brain. I thought I'd share that.
Dale, I'm telling you, Dale. Okay, we're getting to know each other a little bit. That's
Hey, that inspired me.
that's a good thing. So, well, let's have it then. Shoot.
Okay, left brain, life brain.
There you go.
Left brain, life brain, right brain, creative brain. All these voices in my head are driving me insane. Left brain, serious brain, right brain, fun brain. How do I maintain conflicting voices in my head driving me insane? Left brain, rational brain, right brain, spirit brain. Only God knows how to create and maintain balance in my crazy, busy life brain.
Good.
There's 3 brains, isn't that 3? left, there's right, there's crazy, right? That makes sense to me. You know, especially the crazy.
Oh my goodness.
All right. You know what? It's like trying to follow a kid in the theater. You never want to go on after a kid or a dog, you know, because the audience is just not going to be happy with you. I think I'll defer to Dale or
Good. Because I have a new one, and actually, one of my new ones, the one I want to read first, is inspired by Bobby.
Uh-oh.
Because Bobby has mentioned
a
at
lot of
times.
credit these days.
Well, no, he's mentioned several times that poetry is new to him and he's just learning. And I can
Right.
identify with that because I never really had any formal training in poetry besides going to regular school and liking poetry and hanging out with people that wrote poems. That was it. So I don't know a lot of the forms. And in fact, locally, when some of my poet friends here talk about, oh, let's write a such and such, it's like, oh, well, what is that? And I have to go look it up. So I recently looked up, I Googled all the forms of poetry. The list was almost 100 terms for types of form.
Wow.
So anyway, so here's my poem.
All right.
I call it, What the Heck is a Sestina? I've been challenged to write a sonnet, but I cannot make one flow. My words won't match the meter, and my thoughts refuse to grow. I've been called to pen a haiku, but the words won't fall in line. My thoughts fall out so random. My stanza lacks design. They say, go write a ballad, but my pen begins to skip. My story's long and epic, but I can't narrate the trip. I'm told a quatrain to compose, a festina or an ode. My brain starts to unravel. My pen might explode. A limerick I could handle, a couplet or blank verse. My lyrics are quite good, I'm told. At least they aren't the worst. But poems to me cry freedom, defying structures and refrains. My goal is self-expression. My desire to entertain.
Wow.
All right. I gotta give you a big on that. Yeah.
That was great.
Awesome.
Great. And I do think that poetry is a performing art,
Yeah.
It's meant to be. I think it's meant to be. And you've taken the bull by the horn there.
So of all, you said there's 100 different forms. How many did you mention in that poem?
Only about 10. Yeah.
Oh.
I lost track at 6.
You didn't want me to go through all 97.
Okay, well, just call that the first verse, and you got 9 more coming.
Oh no! Oh no! I want to entertain. I don't want to bore people.
Yeah.
Well, I loved it.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah,
too.
it was fun to write. Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yes, should be.
So I mentioned last week before I did my Wherever You Go poem that I get inspired sometimes by graphics. And I don't think I read this one last week, but I've got 2 that I planned on reading today that were inspired by pictures that I found on Facebook from relatives. And I don't think I did Nosy last week, did I?
I don't remember.
So Nosy,
I don't think so.
Nosy was inspired by a picture that the daughter of my niece put on her Facebook page. She was sitting out in the field. They live in the country, and a cow came up real close, sniffing her, and she took a picture of his nose. and so I put all my poems inside of graphics and pictures, and there's a big cow nose in this one, and it says nosy. There's many a place a nose could be, but in my business, not in the top 3. So remove your nose from out of my space. It pilfers the room I conserve for grace.
That's funny.
I love that poem.
Yeah, it's fun.
That was really short. Why don't you just read it again so my slow brain can catch up?
Nosy. There's many a place a nose could be, but in my business, not in the top 3. So remove your nose from out of my space. It pilfers the room I have conserved for grace.
See, I gotta hear things twice. But
Well, what I love about that is when people are annoying me and they're getting nosy and in my space, it does tend to reduce my amount of grace. So that's where it all came from.
I like that. That actually rhymed itself.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, Bobby. We've unleashed a monster here, you know.
I've still got that. I've still got my left brain poem stuck in my head.
Oh God, I know that. I know that. Well, I have to. Okay, my biped baby poem has not moved. I haven't looked at it since I added an introduction, which I don't care for, but I'll get back to it. And I have not written another new poem. So all my poems are old, but I still like them. And maybe they're not that old. Okay, what I'm going to try to do is start with a longer one first, which means I've got less to do. And then if I cut off a shorter one later, it'll work out okay. So as soon as I find it, okay, it's not there. So hopefully it'll be there. Yeah. This is very intellectual. It's a poem about my dog. Okay. It's called Ode to Brownie. So you didn't mention Ode.
Oh, I did.
Did you mention Ode?
I did.
I missed it. I should have known you would have had that one. You know, to me, everything, if I don't know what to call it, I call it an ode. You know, so it's like this is my idea of an ode. To me, well, you know what ode means to me? Long. That's what it means. So, there's a long poem about my dog. Dear Brownie, just a line to let you know you are the best dog ever lived, because you are my dog, because you are my friend. I thought you might want to know that you are my last dog too, my very last. Mom said God took you. Dad said poor judgment did you in. You did love chasing cars, you know. So I figure if God took you, only God could give me another dog, and he never did. Some might say you had a hard scrabble life, never allowed in the house unless it was freezing outside, never had a house of your own. Dad built you a lean-to and said that would have to do. And you never got to hang around the dinner table and beg for scraps like some dogs were allowed to do. Mom said back on the farm, animals had to earn their keep and pets should fend for themselves. So I always saved you some supper and fed you on the porch. Dad was always saying I should tie you up at night or whenever we would leave. Neighbors said I should have you on a leash. The only time I ever saw you mad was when I tied a rope around your neck and tried to pull you for a walk. I gave that up soon enough. Anyway, who wants a dog that won't just follow you around because it wants to? We did buy you a nifty leather collar, though, with Brownie stenciled on a little brass plate that was just in case you got lost. A finder could read your name and figure you must be Gary's Brownie. You were never much for showing off. Words like fetch and sit and roll over just weren't in your vocabulary. But whenever I would talk to you, your eyes would focus on my face and you would listen like you understood. And then there was the fun we had. Remember when I tried to push you in the tire swing and you were too scared to jump out? And when the swing died down, you just hung there like a trussed up ring of sausage? You were better in the wagon, though, standing like a general watching his troops go by. Remember Halloween? The time I took you to an outdoor party and us kids all bobbed for apples? I guess you felt like one of us. But it did create a ruckus when you slipped between me and a pal of mine and glommed onto an apple for yourself, trapping it against the side of the tub like you've been doing it all your life, and then taking off like a thief, leaving me to bear your scolding. But best of all, I think, for both of us, were the hours we spent exploring the mystery of our secret woods. Me searching for Indians and lost gold and maidens in distress, and you, the mighty hunter, chasing anything that moved, including fish floating near the surface of the pond. I believe to this day you could have caught one if you had more stealth than Splash. Some say you were a mongrel dog, no lineage to your name, but I say you come from a long line of brownies. I've seen you through the years, white with big brown splotches, or the other way around, hanging with a boy or girl, companion dogs of the highest order. And you were my brownie. I was proud to be your kid. I'll remember you forever. Will you remember me?
Good.
Yeah, that's very touching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when this was from my first book, and I'm visiting my family in Kansas City, and they have two kids, and I think they were like maybe 9 and 7, something like that. But they were like just very attentive. I thought they'd be bored or whatever, and this was their mom's idea for me to read one of the poems, and this is the only one I thought they might like. And but I was surprised at how they just kind of hung on it. And not only that, afterwards, I think the boy who was the younger, he said, "So was Brownie your best friend?" I said, "Yeah, I guess he was." You know. So it's great, and what an audience! Not only do they pay attention, but they ask questions afterwards. You know.
Yeah.
Life has not gotten much better since then.
Yeah.
So the rest of them will be shorter, but thank you for listening.
Yeah, that was good.
Good
That was
poem.
good.
Miss Dale.
Oh, I think it's Ann
Ann.
next.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay.
You know
Yeah.
what?
So
I keep missing that, don't I? I'm going to stop trying. I'm just going to sit and wait for one of you all to jump in, you know?
And we'll let you know when it's your turn.
There you go. 3 on 1 is better than 1 on 3, you know. I guess. All
so
right.
this is the first. They read the beginning of the 4 set that came from this one, and the brick walls come tumbling down. So here we go. I sit behind a brick wall, wondering how I'll cross. I sit behind a brick wall, feeling a sense of loss. When a crackling sound is heard, I look up, and what do I see? The brick wall holding me back crumbles right in front of me. I breathe a sigh of relief and thank God for hearing my inward cry. For as the brick wall comes tumbling down, he has given me wings to fly. Say goodbye. Sorry. That's the next one.
That's good.
Yep.
I liked it.
Okay.
I wanted more.
Me too. Me too. And
Why
that's
don't you, why don't you read the next part? You have another stanza, another.
Actually, I have another. That was the end of the. Wait a minute. What is it? Oh, wait a minute. Say goodbye to the brick wall and hello. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Say goodbye to the brick wall and hello to the blessed call of the Holy Spirit whispering in your soul, for he died on the cross to save the lost. He takes our wounded, broken spirit and makes us pure and whole. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
That was the end. I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
No problem. No problem.
But we said we wanted more, and you had it. That's a
Yeah,
good
but I only
job.
gave you. Hold on. I'm looking back at my document. I have like 4 poems here, and I got to make sure I give you the right. Okay.
Well, you know the old saying, you always want to leave them wanting more.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So we good, Ann?
Let's see. Yeah, I think so.
Good. Thank you.
Good. Good,
Yeah,
good.
we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm loving
Okay.
it the way. I really am.
Now we're
Okay. You want to hear my second new poem?
yeah.
And
I
say
do.
making another bad move. Like, I might have said, "Okay, Bobby," and then you were like, wait a minute. I just gave up my space. This being a moderator is hard work.
It is.
Man, I got to stay on top of things.
And you're getting
Yeah.
heckle crowd.
And you can't really enjoy listening because you're worried about what you have to do next on the program.
No, I don't. I'm not that good. I really enjoy. I listen. Trust me. Then when there's a dead spot, oh yeah, what was supposed to be next here? Only thing I'm going to insist on today is I have written out and highlighted the closing line of the show, and I'll be darned if I don't get that bad boy in there this time.
Good. We're looking
Good.
forward to it.
We'll be anxiously waiting to hear it.
Yep.
Good breath.
I've already oversold it.
Okay, are you ready for my poem?
I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Okay, well, I have 2 working titles. One is Meditation Invitation, but I decided if I read this orally, actually Meditation Preparation reads better. So either way, and this is a poem about quieting myself so that I can meditate, which is always kind of a challenge because all these other thoughts come and you think about all the other things you need to do. So this is it, Meditation Invitation. Let me breathe. Let me freeze this moment. Make it mine. Let me sing. Let me fling this story into rhyme. A loss, I toss. Just emotion a la carte. Not a battle to be fought. Let me kiss. Let me love. Let me hug the warmth above. Let my fingers, let my toes, let my mind relax and doze. Let me breathe. Let me freeze this moment. Yes, it's mine.
Oh, good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the way it moved. Of course, your
Mhm.
delivery was quite dramatic too. I gotta give you kudos on that. But yeah, that was a mover.
Yeah.
I like when poems, you can feel them going someplace. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can't
Yeah.
describe it any better than that. But this one's going someplace. This is all right. You're gonna get someplace.
Mhm.
And so thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
So it's my turn.
Yes.
For some reason, I keep thinking maybe I shared these, but I don't think I did. This one was inspired by my daughter lives in the state of Washington out in the country, and they have a fire pit out in their backyard, and they love to make a fire and sit out there at night. And she loves to have a glass of wine. So she took a picture of the fire pit with her glass of wine sitting on the fire behind it. And I love the picture. So I wrote this poem and sent it to her, and she said, I'm saving that one forever, Dad, and I put my voice on it too. So I recited it to her. She says, and I love that your voice is on it. It's called The Luxuries in Life. There are amenities in life we appreciate and necessities in life that we need. There are perks that give us advantage, even dividends that stop the bleed. There are doctors and teachers and parents, friends and lovers and kids. Our world so full of sweet blessings in this wonderful life we live. But beyond all of those are the luxuries. I call them the comforts of life, not necessary for our survival, but a welcome remedy for strife. An open fire to warm our worn bodies, a glass of wine on a dark, starry night. Thank God for providing necessities, and thank Him too for the luxuries in life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had that one on Facebook. It's nice imagery. Yeah.
Yeah, I did put that one.
Yeah. And by the way, keep them coming for New Poets Wednesday. I'm getting a little thin.
Oh, I've got two more that I wrote in the last 3 days. So I'll have those for next week.
I can send you all of mine at poems at once, or I can send them to you all individually, whichever way you want them.
I think I would rather just have them individually.
Okay.
I have enough trouble stockpiling my own stuff, I lose whole folders, it's like I can't find them. And but now the individual poems, they're not hard to keep track of, and I'll make sure that if you send me a poem, it will be on New Poets Wednesday. If it's not on the first week, it'll be on the second week. Anyway, I'll let you know.
Do me a favor, when you get it up there, send a link so I can put it on my social media.
Sure. Absolutely. One thing I did want to say about your poem, Bobby, is that I liked what seemed to be you were using a separate image for each section, but the images were starting to arrange themselves to the point where I could actually still see lines you had already said. Just it connected really well. I don't have any better words than that, but I felt that as I was reading, as I was listening. Okay.
Thank you.
This won't be long unless it takes me a long time to find it, which is always the problem with me. And I would say, stop me if you've heard this story, but it'd be too late, and so I won't even ask. If you heard it before, you're going to hear it again. This is called Love in the Bud. Let us promise not, when love is in the bud, that there can be a conjuring with the incantations of the season and their death-defying undulations, such that the raging beauty of our rose can unleash its atom-smashing essence. But let us simply say we love today, and we might behold a new reality, a new and natural knowing, serene in its sensitivity, facile as our fleeting moments, accepting of each other's truth as patient soil accepts the rain.
Nice.
I love that one.
I have to say that I love the last line of that poem more than any other line I ever wrote in my life. I can't really explain it, but sometimes when something is like really right, you feel it in your,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, and so
Yeah.
I was pretty
Well,
happy. It worked out.
It's a lovely image. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is my turn then.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do another one. Brick walls don't last forever. And hopefully this time I'll know when to stop. They're only here for a season. It's up to us how we cross them. God's purpose is our reason. How bad do you want the thing you wish to achieve? Do you have faith in God? Do you believe that He can remove the walls in your life? Or do you hide behind the wall because you don't know where to start to walk out your purpose? In God we trust. In God, in God, wait. In God we trust. In God we pray. Please remove the brick walls, so that by your grace we may conquer our day. God bless you, dear reader. Please follow His will. Wait a minute, I'm reading two poems at once. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to stop because I was reading two poems at
So
once.
can you reread your last couple lines?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, the last couple lines, let's see, where was I? Okay, let me. Do you believe that He could remove the walls in your life? Or do you hide behind the wall because you don't know where to start to walk out your purpose in God? Yeah, I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Because what I'm,
that's a good ending.
yeah, it's hard for me to tell when I put this on my device up here. It doesn't separate the lines, so it's hard for me to tell one from the other.
Yeah.
Sorry about the.
No, that's okay.
No
It's okay.
problem.
No, I mean it. Yeah. Well, you fixed it for one thing.
Yeah, I fixed it.
So kudos for that. No, it's another good one. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm. Like I
You
said,
know,
if we don't get to all of them, we'll get to them.
I hope we never get to all of them. I don't know what that will mean, but
Keep them
I want to
coming.
get
Yeah.
to the end. Yeah, you know, it's like, I think this is great fun. I think we've had some ideas that we can pursue as we move along in terms of maybe sharing or helping each other with certain situations, but just keep them coming because the love of what you're saying and what you're doing comes through when you read all of you, and so it's that alone is worth doing this to me.
Yeah.
And
okay, it's Dale's turn.
there
You want me to be the rotation manager?
You know what?
Sure, you could be. You
I
could be
think,
the program
Bob, you have
leader,
such
yeah.
authority. This guy on stage is
That's
just
great.
like
That's
that.
great.
You know, he has more
Okay.
authority than I started to say. Never mind what I say, but yeah,
Okay.
that's your job, Bobby.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, this is a poem that combines the pleasure that I've had over the years of watching hummingbirds at a feeder. And I've thrown in a little bit of nostalgia there about being a widow, because that's something my husband and I used to really enjoy doing. But anyway, the poem is called Lovebirds. And this is one I did submit, and you've put it on your website, but it was quite a while ago. And I don't think I've read it here. So, okay, this is called Lovebirds. They sat on either side of sugar water, emerald female, ruby-throated male. Through our kitchen window I watched, waiting for them to squabble and bolt. When they lingered, I smiled. Swaying together, they sipped, separated by glass. I knew you'd be thrilled when I told you, disappointed that you were not here. Then I remembered. What's left of you fills an urn in the living room. You've seen your last hummingbird, enjoyed your last magnolia-shaded summer beneath pint-sized buzz. How foolish of me to forget.
Mm.
That's a hard
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, that pulls on the heartstrings for sure.
yeah.
And I love hummingbirds too.
Mm. And they always squabble at the feeder.
Yeah. That's good.
And-
Okay. My turn. This one was inspired when I was sitting in my living room with two friends and we were watching a movie, and I thought I should offer them a snack, but I only had two and there was three of us.
We were going out if you were at my house.
Diplomacy.
Oh, I've entitled it. I kind of got the title from Dumb and Dumber, but this one is called Yum and Bummer. With three of us watching a movie and two Klondikes cold in the fridge, a war started raging inside of me. Share or hoard like a pig. I wanted to save both till tomorrow, but I knew I'd cave in the end. So I offered the first, then another, and hoped for no thank you, my friend. They both were gulped down in a minute as I listened to yum, yum, yum. I'm happy they loved my Klondikes. At the same time, I am bummed, bummed, bummed.
You're too generous.
And you know what? I shared this poem with those two people, and one of them said, I saw that you weren't eating one, and I knew that you loved them, so I was thinking about how to share mine, but I just ate it all myself.
Life can be challenging, you know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, well, I have to move closer to where I need to be here. And I don't know if we've reached that point or not, but I think in my mind, I've reached the point of it's time for short ones. So I'm going to do a short one here. This is called It Don't Differ Me None. Don't invite me to your looting parties, and don't even hint at who you think I should hate. I ain't listening, and I wouldn't care if I was. It don't differ me none whose side you're on, long as you hugged your kids today or helped your neighbor get her cat off the roof. If you got love in your heart that you share for free, you're what's right with the world, and you're all right with me.
Good one.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. We've heard some great poems today.
Yep.
Okay, Bobby, now if you're gonna keep track of whose turn it is, then somebody else needs to keep track of what time it is. And I've
Let
lost
me see.
my phone.
2:45.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, we got about 15 minutes.
yeah, we're good. We're good. Well, I just happen to have two or three. I'll just take over. I wouldn't do that, would I, Bobby?
No, not you.
All right. Well, here we go. This one's I called In God We Trust. So, in God we trust, in God we pray. Please remove the brick walls. So, by and by your grace, we may. So by your grace, we may conquer our day. God bless you, dear reader. Please follow his will, for he has a plan for you. Listen, be still. Then go out into the world and obey his command. He's always beside you, holding your hand, showing you how he makes the brick walls tumble to the ground and fall down, down, down at your feet. Thank you, Jesus. Trust God to remove the brick walls in your life. How bad do you want the thing you wish to achieve? Wait a minute, what? Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Why is it doing this?
What's it
I'm
doing?
sorry, y'all. I'm struggling. I'm seeing repeats of stuff I've already read and it's throwing me.
Throw
It
me.
sounded familiar, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Hold on. Okay, let me start over and I'll skip down. Yeah, I gotta. Ah. In God we trust, in God we pray. Please remove the brick walls so that by your grace we may conquer our day. God bless you. Okay, let me see. Where am I starting here? Okay. I'm sorry. I totally messed that up.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
no
Dale.
worries. No
I'm
worries.
go
We'll
ahead,
forgive
Dale.
you.
It's called technical difficulties. You didn't mess
Yeah, because I gotta figure out. Yeah, I'm having all kinds of.
up. Is this something that you've had before, or it's just it's acting up on you today?
It's coming up on me because I didn't I put them together, and when I put them on the device that gives me the braille, I didn't realize it meshes them all together, and I didn't see all the different repeats and stuff. So yeah, it's throwing me.
Okay, yeah, so you don't have where the breaks are.
Yeah, and it's really
Yeah,
throwing me. Okay, let me see. So go ahead, Dale. I'm sorry.
okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this is a little short one, and it's about those times when I get on a roll and I have an afternoon and I write several poems. Or maybe it's like, in the evening, I'm just on a roll and I think I've got, oh, wow, these poems are great. And then I get up in the morning and I read them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is called My Excellent Poem. I thought it was a good poem. It warmed my soul as I wrote it. An excellent poem. Hands all would clap when I shared it. I read it now. I won't take a bow. Please do not clap. It is crap.
I love that one.
That's a good one.
That's why I love poetry, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
we can all
reminds me,
identify with that. Yeah.
I had a pastor friend. He had a huge church that I think they did like 10 or 12 services every weekend, and he got up to preach one morning at the first service or one evening, whenever it was, and it just wasn't working. And about halfway through, he said, "You know what? This is crap, and I'm boring you to death. Why don't you go home?"
You know what? I would have backed that guy for the rest of my life. If anybody will say that to a congregation
Yeah,
has
that
got
was
they got
Yeah.
yeah.
okay. So here's one I just finished writing this morning called "Shoot the Moon." Remember, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Yeah.
Now, if I lay down to sleep, I pray, please God, pretty please, grant me at least a little sleep. And if I die before I wake, please, Lord, don't let it be fake. You see, this whole world, it's not my home. It's just a place that I have roamed, where I've lived and loved and moaned. It's where I'll bid you all shalom. The only grief that's in my tone, I'd be leaving family all alone. Oh, don't worry. I'm not begging to die real soon. I'm just saying I'm ripe to bloom. Here I'm trapped in this old cocoon. I think I'm buoyant and ready to shoot the moon. 7 decades I have sown, 7 decades I trust not blown. It's not that this life sucks down here. Nothing's wrong. I just fancy life in my heavenly home. When it's time, I'll shoot the moon. And maybe I'll be able to sing in tune. La 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 la.
Oh, that's fun. That's good.
Yep.
You know, I'm sitting here wishing, I said, well, I wish I'd have saved one that was funny, you know, from last. It's like, but now I got to follow Bobby, and this ain't funny at all, you know. There is a little story that goes with it, though. I will not probably be on when did they do the last census, the last national census? It was a couple of years ago, right? A year or so ago. Remember when they come around to your house and
Yeah, 2020, right?
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
On the tens, yeah.
Yeah, well, they came to my house, and I think I managed to I think I confused the young man, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not on the census because I confused him, and I think he just decided that, you know, that's one less I got to worry about. But you'll see why when I read this poem. I got to ask you. Well, I don't know. No, I'll put it like this. I may have read this already, okay, but I don't care. So
There you
Well,
go.
we may have heard it, but we don't care either.
Nope.
good answer, Bobby. Good answer. Good answer. And I will once I finish it, I'll tell you the little story where this kind of all comes from. But I'll read it first. This is called a modest declaration. I am not a white man or any other color of any other man, and I will be damned if I let you call me other. And please do not presume to assume that I am one of you. I am not a Christian man, yet I tithe and thrive in a Christian construct. By birth, I am an American, but I would sacrifice that plan just to be a good man. In the course of human events, silence is consent. So I am not content to leave your understanding to your own devices of distortion, extortion, disproportion. So hear me in your silence, or in your roar, or in your rage. I hereby disengage from all but my children, all but my close friends, former or forever, all but any living soul who honors truth. I am not a white man or any other color of any other man, and I will be damned if I let you call me other. And this is a true story, sort of, because when I was in the Air Force, and I was coming to a new base in Korea, and they told me that I had to go see the chaplain, which I thought was kind of odd. I said, why would I want to go see the chaplain? You know, at the time, I was not really on the speaking terms with any church that I knew of. And so I'm thinking, you know, what is this all about? And he asked me, he says, you didn't put religion down on your paper here. And I said, okay, right, I didn't. He said, well, you have to. So what do you mean I have to? So you have to. I have to write something here. It's that simple. He said, all right, let me make it easy for you. What were your parents? I said, well, a Methodist. He says, all right, I'm going to put down your Methodist. But I didn't say I was a Methodist. He says, look, Airman, I have to put something down here. Okay? So I'm putting Methodist unless you really want to take this further. And I thought, hey, maybe I don't really care that much. You know, all right, I'll be a Methodist today. But I never got over that. It really ticked me off that I had to be something.
Yeah.
And I don't really think that's true, but then that's the military. So I told this story to the young man who came to the house to interview me for the census, and he said, so I said, so I'm not gonna, you can't put race down there. I'm not giving you anything for race, nothing. Take it or leave it. And he left, and he did call me back, and he said, I don't know when I'll be back to your area, but I'm not sure how this is going to fly. So I'm probably not on the census, except because I wouldn't answer the question.
Yeah. Boy, what a troublemaker. I'm proud of you.
I know. It's funny. It's funny what ticks you off and what doesn't, I'm hard. It's hard to tick me off, except on certain things,
Yeah.
Anyway, it's I don't mean to be preaching.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with being other? I don't mind being other. That's the one I always choose because I figure it's none of their business.
Yeah.
I wish you had that prefer not to answer.
Yeah. Sometimes you do. Yeah.
I didn't see that on the census.
Yeah, not on the census. Yeah.
Could have been.
Well, Gary, it's 2:58, so you have 2 minutes to do your closing remarks.
Okay.
Very good.
I'm just doing my job. I'm not telling you what to do. You told me I'm the timekeeper and the rotation manager.
And you are, and you're good at it, Bobby.
Actually, what you told me is that I'm not smart enough to do both those at once, but I'm proving you wrong.
Okay, this is our official ending. It's so corny. I can't believe I actually highlighted this. But see you in 2 weeks. Keep writing. It's good for you.
Wow.
And that could actually end the show, unless somebody's got a better one. And I would not be surprised or upset if you did. But I thought, well, it's time to get a little bit more formal about this, we get together, we read poems, we have fun, and we prove one thing, that poems are meant to be heard. And that's worth doing all by itself. But I'm really feeling good about our group. Of course, we'd like it to be bigger, but the quality of the stuff that you guys are bringing in is so outstanding, And
Aside from my technical snafu.
those are going to happen. They're going to be days.
And Teresa will be with us in 2 weeks. She told me she would. So
Yeah.
So there'll be 5 of us in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a bigger iPad because the 4 of you fit perfectly across the bottom here. Don't know what I'm going to do with 5.
Oh, well, I'm sure you can make an adjustment.
You know what? There's supposed to be a button that I can hit to end this meeting.
Alt Q on your
Oh,
PC.
I see it. I found it. Da-da-da. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've joined the modern world. I'm actually going to end it's not a podcast. Yes, I'm going to end the podcast, which is, what's the name of our podcast? Oh, yeah. Celebrating New Poets. And I'm going to do it by clicking end. So when I click end, everybody's going to disappear.
Okay.
Awesome.
Are you ready?
Go for it.
All right. See you in 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
All righty. Bye.